Good afternoon. It is Barbara, the East Coast Dragon Lady. It's Sunday and just after midday, I believe. And I guess I'm coming to you a bit battle weary is probably the right term. If you on my private Facebook page, I posted yesterday that I was feeling everything, and I'm right at the end of another 10-day parasite cleanse, and it's been kicking my butt. And I was just like feeling everything yesterday. And I think for the first time, actually, I don't remember the last time I actually didn't get out of bed and didn't even get dressed. It's Saturday, so, had nowhere to go. It was a horrible, cold, rainy day here. And I'm like, I'm just giving in to this. And I did nothing. I sort of really forced myself to get up today because it would have been so much nicer just to stay there. But I thought, again, I'm not the sort of person to feel sorry for myself. So it was like, let's get up and let's do one thing. I don't know. But the one thing that this time, the second time around, is doing this cleanse, which started out as a full moon cleanse, full moon parasite cleanse, is that and this, if you've been following me for a while, last time it was bringing up, just sort of anger. It's the only way I can describe it. Just like I'm irritable, and I literally a hair will trigger me, that like, just don't look at me that way. But it's like, I know this is old suppressed anger, and I've just got to go. I've got to apologize to people if I've like been snappy at them, and it's mainly my family, or I've just been hiding myself. Even the dogs irritated me, but I know this is stuff that's got to come up. It's also given me time to reflect. So I chose to do it. I don't think I knew quite what I was in for, but I've started it, so I'm going to see this through. I believe I've still got another month or two, I'll be off this for 10 days and back on for 10 days, because as I've said before, what I'm hearing and what I'm feeling is that we all need to cleanse our vessel. That's sort of what I'm getting. It's like, this has got to be pure, this has got to be cleansed, and the best way, we've got to be cleansed on the inside and on the outside. And we're good at doing that work on the outside. We're good at clearing our auras, lining our chakras, addressing all that external. That's sort of easy, but this internal, and I've known this. I was an RN for many years. I've worked in the mental health field for many, many years. I sort of eat, sleep, and drink mental health. And I know that it's one thing, not just women, but a lot of us are really good at like suppressing that. And I did for 25 years. I pushed all of my emotions down because I had another job to do. And then I spent 20 years going, another 25 years going, why did this happen? All of those things. And now I'm at this point where I'm like, I'm letting it go, because, even though forgiveness it's easy to say, and oftentimes it's really, really hard to, when somebody has really hurt you mentally and physically, it's really hard to let that go. But eventually, if we want to, I used, and this was long before I even really understood the metaphysical world, but I used to say that after I got divorced, I felt like I had been like literally held down, and I saw myself like stakes in the ground holding me down, because I wasn't allowed to sort of go out and do what I was supposed to do. Once I moved away from that, I literally was like shot out. And that was when, and if you've seen some of my old stuff, I talked about like the first fall, when I first met Merlin. I was walking in the woods with some dogs that I had then, long gone. And I suddenly realized that I was seeing colours that I've never seen before. And I kept asking the question, well, how come I didn't see how beautiful fall is, how beautiful the colours are, the browns, the reds, the yellows, the greens. I mean, I live in New England, beautiful falls. And just that walking and crunching on the ground, I mean, I just appreciated so much. And I realised, because I'd spent my whole time like really existing. And that was when Merlin stepped in and started talking to me. So that was a long, long time ago. And as I say, here I am, almost 50 years later going, okay, I'm bruised, I'm battered. I know that I've been in many battles. I've also had past life memories since I've started to work in my Akashic Records. Like it's opened me up to like so much stuff. Having waking memories, not just, just literally on the spot, having a memory of being somebody else in another lifetime. So these are all things that need to come up for me so I can recognize them and say, yes, I was powerful. Yes, I was this. So my fascination for Egypt has come up again. And that some of that has to do with the new things that are being found under the pyramids and through the pyramids. So I'm sort of reconnecting with that. I'm reconnecting with, well, not reconnecting, well, I guess I am, but I don't remember in this lifetime, I've not really connected with the fairy realm, but I'm doing every day, I'm doing cards apart from yesterday, pulling those, learning their energy. They connect in a different way, their messages are slightly different, and they're more personal. They often say that this message isn't for everybody, this is for specific people. I don't even know who they are, but like if you're catching that message, it's for you today. So, and some of them are for me, and as I've said before, when I pull cards for everybody else, it is about because it's my energy, it will often be a message for me as well. And, we can either take those and say, okay, I'll put that there, or it's an accumulation. I continue to work with in the quantum field, which I find really exciting and expansive. And I think that, as I'm always saying, this connecting to the core and then sort of just being connected to everything is really what's changed for me. It's nice to also feel there've been a few people who've reached out for advice, for some mentoring, both in my full-time job and in this as well. And I appreciate that. I'm still I'm still in my boat going down the river. I'm hoping that after this journey, that I will have some idea of what I'm doing. I've been in, as you know, I did an oracle deck. I've written a chapter in a book. I'm really not sure, but I'm just going to keep waking up every day and putting one foot in front of the other until whatever it is feels right. And that might just be being me. I'll be happy with that as well. I've still got some years or some time, I would say time at my full-time job. I'm over retirement age, but I still feel I've still got a few more years in me as things are unfolding as well at work. But if retirement comes up, then I will take that as well. So I think it's going with the flow for me right now. So I thought I would just pull some cards for the week. And as I've said, it's I'm conserving my energy. I know it's just been I always say it's been a weird week, but it was a very strange week last week, and I felt like there was like suddenly we would have like a crisis here, then a crisis here, then it would settle down, and then another crisis. And I'm not talking about what's going on in the United States, because I'm absolutely not engaging in any of that. If you want to think I'm like the ostrich with my head in the ground, I'm like, just tell me when it's over. But in the meantime, things come to you. If you need to know them, they come to you. And there's a lot of people like me. I know there was big protest yesterday throughout the United States, which I watched. So let's see what the fairies, actually first of all, before I do the fairies, I wanted to use this Akashic Record deck just to see what messages this has for us for the week, whether it's one or two cards. Oh, one's already jumped out. Solitude. One's jumped out. For the week, is there one more card or message that the collective needs? Oh, a whole load. I'm going to take this one. That was just a bit too exciting, wasn't it? That, did you see how they just all flew out? Oh, there's three here. Hang on. I'm not going to look at these unless I feel I have to. I seem to be prone to. But I mean, the first card that jumped out is solitude. And it's spending time alone is often what we need to hear the whispers of our soul, get to know aspects of yourself so you can stand on your own in any situation. So I couldn't have said that more perfectly after what I've just told you that I did this weekend, right? That is one of them. Don't put that there for tomorrow. Listen to this. I know for some of you it's more difficult. I'm fortunate that I don't have, if I want to go and spend the day in bed, then I can. Take the high road. You are at an impasse with a relationship or situation. It's now time to think bigger, release desired outcomes, and take the most positive course of action. Miracles. You're being asked to pay attention, extra close attention to all the big and small miracles that have already occurred in your life, and also to those that are currently occurring and are still to come. Miracles surround you. Be on the lookout for them. And that has come up this week several times in the messages from the fairies. That's what happens when you don't talk all day. And then have faith. You know, remember, these are messages from the Akashic Record, so we've gone higher than high. The lighting's not very good here. It's still, oh, I need to get my eyes tested again. It's not always easy to have faith and trust that everything is going to be okay. Yet still you must do exactly that, because when you have faith, your life will begin to flow in magical ways that you never imagined were possible. So have faith. And what did I just say when I said I'm just going to go with the flow? So that was before I pulled this. So yeah, you can't make this stuff up. So this is the Akashic Truth Oracle card deck. Just out of interest, I wonder what these other three were. 4. There's another 4 that sort of flew out at the same time. Reach out, forgiveness, professional assistance, and wisdom. So without reading all of this, forgiveness is something I talked about as well. The deck was listening. I was drawn to that before I sat down and turned on the video. I heard get the Akashic Records. Forgiveness. A lot of you can understand that. Reach out. You've isolated yourself and are trying to do everything on your own. It's okay to ask for help. So reach out and ask for support at this time. Wisdom and professional assistance. So take that for what it is. Now let's see what the fairies have to say. What messages they have for this upcoming week. It's Sunday. And let's see. I'll try and keep, sometimes with the fairies, the cards go on a little bit because I ask questions. And actually, they're saying pull one dragon card before I go to the fairies. All right. Okay, so they're shuffled. Let's see what my oracle deck. And by the way, if you are still looking for an oracle deck, a dragon oracle deck, mine is for sale. I still have quite a few of them left, self-published, so you get them from me. You can email me at eastcoastdragonlady@gmail.com. $35 within the United States. You can check in with me about international shipping because it keeps changing. Okay, grandmother has stepped forward. Memories of your childhood. So I talked actually to somebody on Friday about how this card not only comes up a lot, but it also brings up for me the memories that I had. Whenever I think of my grandmothers, they both had flower names, Rose and Lily, and they were both on the fairies are saying, that's why you need to connect with us. I know they've been around me for on and off for many years when I've needed them. And so Grandmother Dragon usually comes forward for us to look at our grandparents, great-grandparents, look at our lineage, think of the times, the fun times that you had with grandparents. If it wasn't your grandparents, was it your great-grandparents? Is there something in the maternal or the feminine line that needs to be cleared? Because if you can clear it now, it will clear past, present and future, so that those things like abuse and all of that stuff you can clear. So the first card, fairy card, is laughter. So we'll see if there's a theme here. Laughter, inner power. That one came up this week. And happily ever after. Oh, that's nice. That reminds me of a picture taken in Devon. All right, happily ever after. So let's do 3 more. And then we'll see what the theme is. New location. Again, this keeps coming up, new location. New location. Financial flow. That's a good one. And environmental awareness. So it's spring. Here it's turning into a wet spring, but we need the rain apparently. I think it's a pixie, a fairy with an eagle. I love, it's actually, the more you look at it, the more detail. There's, this, I'm not sure what this is. Oh, there's the moon up here. Looks very ethereal. It's actually in woodlands, is what I'm thinking. So I'm environmental awareness. So it's taking care. That's what I'm saying, that this could be a wounded eagle. And it's about us taking care of our environment, which, as we all know, is important. Financial flow, I think especially, and I have been watching some of the things about the market right now, but it's not to panic. So here it's like the financial flow. I think I said this last week, but what I found is that unexpectedly I got some extra money that I wasn't even expecting. And then as that money flowed to me, then other money started to flow. And I feel like the block that I may have had around financial success or just a flow, an energy flow, is improving. And I think that's improving. And then this new location, I say I might have to ask for some more guidance on this, because this has come up so many times. And as I've said before, when it keeps coming up, it's like, okay, what does this mean? Because you could read it as I'm not moving. Is my job moving? Maybe. It could be retirement for me. So let me see what this says. It says, a change of venue is coming your way. Most likely you are moving to a new residence. However, This card could also mean that you're changing the location of your employment. And then it goes on to say that the fairies are very much in touch with geographical changes. They sense that your energy is drawing you to a new location. Perhaps you've been thinking about moving to a new home, and this card signifies that it's time to consider that change. Write a list of features, blah, 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 blah. Affirmation. I now live and work in a safe, comfortable, spacious environment in a wonderful location. So if that speaks to you, that's for you. And then financial flow. So again, I've just talked about that. Happily ever after, that could be just that something's completing. There's a lot of rainbow colors here. We've got the unicorn, the fairies, the pixies, the elves. They're like all the wee people, as they tell me they are. Inner power. We need to tap into that inner power. Doesn't matter how small or how big we are, we have the inner power. And laughter is always, always important, right? I actually spent, part of yesterday, just because I was feeling a little bit bleh, I did a couple of like comedy specials, which gave me, the belly laugh. I was crying with the laughter. So that's always good for our soul. So I think for this week, it's really about listening. And I've said this so many times, but I've heard it, and I've certainly been doing it, is tapping into my soul, tapping into my inner knowing, my inner knowledge, my inner healing, my inner power. And if I don't get the answer straight away, just waiting till I hear them. I think it's really important. I think I've got this beautiful owl that somebody bought for me, and they know who they are, and my feathers. And I think and I actually yesterday I accidentally went out. It was raining, but I went out in bare feet, and it made a huge difference. So if it's not really, really cold, even going out barefoot on the bare ground, like literally, like it was a shock that I needed, was like, whoa. But I connected immediately. And I think when we're not sure, it's like try and connect with the earth, because that's where you're going to get the messages. That's what I'm hearing. So I hope you all have a good week. It's Sunday. I have a list of things that I'd like to do. I'm not even sure I'm going to get there to those. But anyway, whatever you're doing today, have a good Sunday. And if anything comes up in the week that I feel I need to jump on and talk about, I will. If not, have a good week, and I'll be back next weekend. Have a good one.